All right, hey folks, we are reviewing the Streamlight TLR7 and the TLR8, and I'm crossing the guns like I'm Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. That's awesome. This is the only thing worse. John Wick press checks for ultimate cool guy wannabe stuff. Guys, this has gone downhill real quick. I'm going to review some lights. Let's get to it. All right, hey folks, let's dive in. This is the TLR7. It is sexy, it is small, it runs off 123 battery for an hour and a half. It's waterproof. It has a 500 lumen light output, and that is a true 500 lumen output. I say that because some lights will advertise 1200 lumens, and then it looks like it's like a little pin light. Usually not that bad, but still, it's a true 500 lumen light. It is not as bright as the X300U by Surefire. It is brighter than all the Enforce APLs. Anyway, I am impressed with the light output. Really, really cool so far, and I'm cautiously optimistic. As I've just been playing around with this, it's on when I want it on, it's off when I want it off. And I know that seems really silly to say of a light, but that's kind of one of the big deals when it comes to tactical application. You want intermittent and immediate use of white light, but to pop out and to use your light, and then all of a sudden the moment you want it off, you need it off there so you don't jump behind a barricade and drag the white light. Anyway, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but it is important how the controls are activated to make sure that it's going to gel well with what you're trying to accomplish. Now the controls here, it has little buttons on either side so you can activate it with either hand. A deal breaker for me is if I put my hand on the pistol here and I have to change my hand to get to it. I don't with this. All I have to do is drop down my thumb and I can easily hit the button and off. Button and off. Without changing the placement of this part of my hand, this is the big part of your hand that actually matters for your grip. So pretty cool. If you want it momentary on, then you just push and hold and you let go when you want it off. If you want it constant on, you just touch it real quick and let go and it'll stay on. When you look at the TLR8 is basically the exact same as the TLR7. It is the same size. This is a Glock 17, this is a Glock 19, so it looks different. But the TLR8 is basically you're just adding a dot, a laser to it. Not a dot, a laser. The controls work the same way, but you can cycle through the different programs for it by holding one side of the control down and then touching the other side. So I'm holding one side and I can just cycle through. There's white light only, there is laser only, there is both. So it'll remember the last memory setting, so whenever you come on, it's there you have a laser and a white light. So anyway, that's how the TLR8 works. Now, this is where I'm tempted to go into all the kind of pros and cons of a laser on a pistol. You guys have asked me a lot about that. I'm going to go ahead and make another video on that. And when the video is ready, it's going to be right up here. So you can follow that link and I'll talk to you about how I feel about lasers and pistols. It does have an application, I'll go ahead and say that, of especially for untrained folks in home defense. You know, you have a spouse that's certainly never going to look through the iron sights under stress. Maybe they'll see a laser, and if it's built in with a simple application, it's possible they could use that, and that could be really good. There's lots of other pros and cons. I don't want to get into it. I'm going to outsource it to another video. So let me kind of go on a little bit of a tangent of what I'm looking for in white lights on pistols and why I'm not really satisfied with what I have right now. So I've got all kinds of different lights. The X300U is by Surefire is a really good light, and for carrying on the side, it's a great option for side carry. For me, it's a terrible option for appendix. Can you guess why? That's just terrible right there. Just driving into your business, and so that's not fun. So having something much, much smaller, look at this light size difference. Huge difference, right? And so that's really attractive to me. But then what I don't want is, okay, I have this gun and light combination for appendix, and then for my side holster, I am going with something completely different, which means now I have to have a different holster for every single different gun lighting setup. Ideally, I want commonality. I want all my war belts to have the same holster so I can take my gun, which has a light on it, and I can just switch between holsters without having to unscrew or take off lights and switch them around. And maybe it's high maintenance of me, but I'm not interested in that commonality. So what I'm looking for is I want insanely bright lights. I want the power of the sun and the palm of my hands Yes, I just quoted Spider-Man. That's terrible. I should be ashamed. But I do want insanely bright for tactical applications so that I can blind any adversary to hopefully psychologically disable them. I used to be in a camp, kind of a school of thinking that would say, I want about 200-300 lumens, so in case it hits something, it doesn't you know, backsplash and blind me out. But now the way that I'm usually employing my lights in CQB settings, I'm usually employing it differently, and so I eliminate a lot of that backsplash. So now it's kind of like, give me all of the lumens, bring it on. So really, really bright, and this satisfies that. There are brighter lights, but for the size, man, this is really impressive. So way to go. And it does have intense blinding power. I've already been on the receiving end of this and just kind of my testing, and it'll definitely blind you. I need it to be really reliable. I believe this is reliable from what I see. Now, what I don't have is the test of time. I've only been testing these lights for like a week and a half, but I've been trying to interact with it constantly. It's always on when I want it on. It's always off when I want it off, but we'll see with the test of time. I bet it's going to perform well. Streamlight has a good reputation for reliable products. Now, a lot of people are really excited about their TLR1HL. That's their old school TLR1. Yeah, really, really bright light. It's a tough housing. It's more in similar size to the X300U, so it's a real big girl. I hate the activation switch. There's a little butterfly switch. It's sturdy and stiff on the X300. On the TLR1, it's like a feather. If you sneeze, that thing will go off. And so what I've noticed in just teaching low light classes for years, night vision classes for years, folks would negligently discharge that light all the time, drawing it or reholstering it. So I didn't really like it because of that one big deal breaker for me. It's constantly a violation of a low light principle. With this, you're not going to be negligently discharging a lot. And if you're worried about that, it also has a lockout feature where you just rotate the bezel and now the light won't come on at all. And then you can rotate it back over. So anyway, pretty cool. I think it's going to be really reliable. I like the buttons. I didn't want to like them at first because it kind of hurt my finger a little bit. I know, so sad. But I've just gotten used to it, and now it's wonderful. I love these buttons. I love the activation. I think it's great. You're not going to negligently discharge it, I believe, and it's there immediately ready for you to use without changing your hand position. Really good. It's also very small. And the controls, very, very good. So anyway, I give the TLR7 2 thumbs up as long as it says, you know, has the test of time. I'm going to highly recommend this light, and this is kind of my new go-to. If that changes, then I'll put something out, but TLR7 is good to go. Now, TLR8, this is interesting for me. Now, without jumping into the pros and cons of the video I'm going to make for lasers, if you've already settled that debate and you say you want a laser, then you're stuck with the idea is, well, is this going to reliably keep zero? Now, just based on how it's mounting on the gun, it's got kind of like a Picatinny theory here where it's got one divot and it latches down and screws down. When I do that, I've gone ahead, I've taken this out to the range, I zeroed it. In fact, I'll show you my footage. How about now? What I did for kind of like my controls is I immediately zeroed it about 25 or 30 yards. Once I got it zeroed, I started just going through mag after mag after mag. And after I'd shoot about 5 or 6 rounds, I would take a magazine and I just beat the crap out of it like that. And then I would go ahead and load and then shoot, clear out, and then just do the same thing over and over. So I wasn't being gentle on it. Then I'd use my laser. What I was noticing is while I was shooting, the laser was never flickering on and off, like going off. I was also keeping the white light on, just to make sure it wasn't flickering, and I had a camera set up so I could see whether it was flickering on and off. And overall, it ran real well. I'll show you my group. The way I did my zero target here, kind of here's the carnage. Magazines, there's my gun, here's the target. Ignore the target. All of this stuff right up here is just part of the zeroing process that I was doing other stuff on. This is the only group that really matters. And just to get kind of an idea for hand size, this is about 30 yards. When I missed or this stuff, this is just fatigue and me doing a bad job. So when I missed, it wasn't I don't think it was the laser or the gun. That was just me. So this circle is what you pay attention to, which means it was actually holding zero. So yeah, not bad. Anyway, I'll continue to test this. So far, I'm cautiously optimistic. It may be a good viable option for home defense or for low light operations. Night vision specifically, having a laser on there could be a real big deal, but maybe this is the jam. 500 lumen light with a visible laser on it. I can think of all kinds of applications for that. So good job so far, Streamlight. All right, so what I notice is when I ratchet this thing down and I really twist hard left and right with my hand, I can shift the zero as I look through my sights. The laser position changes slightly. Now, it's not a huge deal, but it's enough that, say, I could throw off my zero at 25, 30 yards, so I'm not even hitting the target anymore. Now, is it going to be enough so that I'd have a huge shift at a 7-meter target? I'm like, no, you're probably still going to hit. So depending on what your purposes are for that light, that laser still may get the job done just fine. I wouldn't want to make a hostage shot at 10 yards with the laser, but based on your application and what you're trying to accomplish, the TLR8 and laser, it may be a pretty good option as far as options go out there. So you can have a powerful light and a laser. A lot of times I just point people, especially if you have a baseline of training, to go for a red dot on top. It's a bigger financial commitment, and these are not expensive lights. So this is a pretty easy way. It may be a good option for you. I'm considering just, hey, it's almost the same size anyway. I'll just go ahead and program it so the laser's off, so it doesn't confuse with the red dot on my pistol, and just always do that. So in case I needed a laser for signaling, or I don't know, just to back up, and I don't know, just I'm doing night vision stuff there, I already have a laser there. So I'm probably, I don't know, I may rock the TLR8. I haven't really decided. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, come on. Some of you guys have been watching a long time and you're not even subscribed. Subscribe. And there's a little bell beside it. Hit that. That'll make sure you get notifications. Comment below if you hate me, you don't like my face, or if you realize I'm a little bit loopy because I just had dental surgery and I'm on Percocet and the whole world's a little fuzzy and I shouldn't have made a video, but I did it anyway. So anyway, thanks for bearing with, guys, and yeah, take it easy.